All right, Quarterly, what did you get rooked into this time?
Is rook the actual thing?
Rooked? Yeah. Manipulated, scammed.
Is short for you're not paying?
Yes.
All right. That makes sense then.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't let me in the building if you didn't know that, right?
Just to clarify, I did make him buy lunch. Hey, what we're trying to do is we're obviously working on the famous Rotax, and we're trying to tidy up some stuff, which isn't the easiest thing to do. So if you venture around back here, I lost it right here. We had the battery sitting up on a panel that was under here, held on with some tie wraps, and the thing's moving around and it's breaking the wire ends because it's moving around. So what I wanted to do was slide the battery down inside here so it's kind of hidden out of the way, and when you take the seat off, nothing's in the way. The problem with that is you get into 900 problems, which the first problem is I made this neat little tray, don't judge me on my wells, is it's going to sit across these two tabs. The battery will sit in the box. The dirt fender will sit up underneath, and it'll all look nice when we're done. The second, third, fifth, seventh, 20th, 60th problem is, what do you want to use for fasteners? You can use ugly little, regular bolts on it. We can use some nice button head Allens. The problem with these is if they're external, they're going to fill with dirt. And if you're in a hurry, you got to pick the dirt out of the Allen hole to use it. Luckily, we're going to hide it up under the dirt fender, so we're going to stick with a nice little Allen. The next problem is if we make this battery box too heavy, Dylan's going to freak.
Correct.
If we make it too light, it's going to break in 2 nights because it's constantly getting jockeyed around, never mind the amount of vibration this makes.
And then you'll have a warranty bring back.
Yeah, then I got to work on it again, which is even worse. And so we're trying to factor just heavy enough to survive and just light enough to flex enough so it won't break. If you make it too big, it'll break because its vibration is going to kill it. If you make it too light, it's going to flex too much and it's going to break.
So we didn't just go to the battery box store?
We didn't go to the battery box store. Right. I made you this nice little box, and I even put a little hole in the bottom so when you wash it, the water will drain out. And we're going to use that little hole to... Now, I could weld on some little pieces and put a nice little O-ring up over the top, but we're going to go with a simple tie wrap and hold it in. And one tie wrap, when I'm done, will hold the battery in. Since we never really take it out.
Yeah, it shouldn't come out unless something terrible's happening.
We can afford to get rid of a couple of tie wraps in the course of a season. The thing I don't like about the rubber over the top is the battery's not wide enough, and if it's even a halfway decent crash, the battery's coming out. Guaranteed it's coming out. So I'm trying to stick to something a little more solid than that. This is Deutsch connectors. Got this killer little tool. You just set them in, squeeze. You can set the squish you want. and it does this nice 4-point squish on the wire. But better yet, when you put it in the connector's rubber backed, so it keeps out water, keeps out dirt, keeps out vibration. They're becoming common little deals.
I mean, not common at AutoZone.
Pushing the lock, done. You get this nice little connector. Yeah, it might not be common at AutoZone, but if you go on AutoZone's website, though, they have a kit. They just don't have it there. The other piece we're trying to do is, if you come over here, is we put this new electronic ignition in, and it's got 12 wires basically, and we had wires going every which way. So we've narrowed it down to 2 basic systems. One is to the ignition, down to the engine, and one is to the coil, and we separated them so energy coming out of the ignition doesn't contaminate energy going to the coil. So they're separated, they're insulated and heat shrunk all at once, and each one has its own ground wire under it, so it'll hopefully not sputter at high RPM, which I've noticed lately. People are putting electronic ignitions on, these TT500s, all types of stuff, Hondas, but they don't wire them correctly. They don't use the right wire, and the wires robbing power, and then the thing misses at high RPM, and they think it's valves or carburetor, and they're chasing it, but it's usually battery and wire. So we're trying to make sure we don't have that problem ourselves. Other than that, it's
quick 5-minute job, sounds like.
That was an hour and a half ago. The problem with, and everybody knows this, you spend more time trying to figure out what you want to fabricate than actually fabricating it. Like, I made the box in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but I spent an hour trying to figure out where I wanted it and what I wanted it to do and how thick to make it, and moving stuff around till we finally hone in on, yeah, that's it.
And I don't know, I just think that's why these bikes are so much cooler than buying a dirt bike.
Well, it's what's cool about these is every individual can have his say in how he puts it together, right? He can go with spoke wheels or solid wheels. He can make it chrome. He can nickel plate it. He can do whatever he wants. Huge brake on it, small brake on it, upside down forks, regular forks. These ones are, I'm pretty sure, R6 forks, but we took the time to turn the ends down, so it just looks trick as hell.
Little DLC coating, so you can.
I know no one cares about road racing, but this is my little Kawasaki 400, and I did it to the forks on this thing, and it's funny that just this little bit, and someone put this. I didn't do this. I lent it to somebody. They put this here. They wanted to crash and wipe that transponder off instead of putting it up here where it belongs. But just this little bit of turn down. Every time I go to the racetrack, at least 10 people come over and ask me, "Hey, where'd you get that? Hey, that nobody can even fathom that you did it yourself," right? It's always somebody else did it. The same thing here. All these rear sets are stuff I make here. Actually, I designed it. I have somebody else make it because I don't have a CNC machine.
So you see this bike, guys, that you all think is so pretty, all the stuff I do myself, I'm going to show you a picture of myself doing it.
Yeah, that's right. So again, that's what's cool about this thing. It's just you can do whatever you want, whatever I want to say your budget can afford, but that's really not it. It's just a matter of taking time. We worked on it for 4 hours the other day, and we made it look 700% better with the wiring that was in it compared to what it is now.
Yeah, it was tired. It was time.
And when we're done fixing the gas tank moving around and this battery moving around that we can already see on the bottom of the battery, it's chafing one of the corners off because it's been moving around. We're just trying to fix all that, so it's good for another 2 years.
Cool. All right.
Now we just need a rider.
Back to work.
Oh, boy.
Welcome to Flat Track Factory. So Dale, I've been here all day. I have one question for you first. Are we still friends?
You didn't talk much today, so life's good.
I was trying to hold it in, the long pauses
Yeah.
of silence, and I was like, God, I kind of want to tell a story, or maybe I could get Dale to teach me about this. It's like, but he's not said anything in like 20 minutes.
Kind of what was really happening is I'd get about 3/4 of the way through something. He'd say, you know, could we make it yellow instead of green? I'm like, no. I already picked yellow.